Hey friends, today we're going to make Mochiko chicken. Mochiko chicken is a Hawaiian dish. It's very popular on the islands and it's one of my husband's favorites. But the marinade is a combination of salty and sweet, and the starch mixed with the rice flour gives it this crispy fried perfection that's so delicious. Let's get started with a medium to large bowl. This is dependent on how much chicken you're going to make. And we're going to start making the marinade by using a Mochiko flour, which is a sweet rice flour. This flour can be found at Asian markets, but I actually will leave a link in the description onto where you can find this. But we will measure out about 1/4 cup or 30 grams of the Mochiko flour. So I've heard that with the Mochiko flour that you need to store it in a Ziploc baggie because it will absorb some of the aromas and flavors around it. I'm not sure if that's true. If you do know, let me know in the comments. But I store it in a baggie anyways because it has the opening, so I just want to make sure it stays fresh. Next, we're going to add a potato starch, and the potato starch mixed with that sweet rice flour is what's going to give this nice crispy coating. It's like a Hawaiian fried chicken, and it's going to give this delicious coating. Now you're going to use about 1/4 cup of this. I have found this one time at Walmart, but again, I'll link all the ingredients and where to find them in the description. Now we're going to add our sugar, and you're going to add 1/4 cup or again 30 grams of sugar. And I know that might seem like a lot, but it's really not because this is a marinade. It's not a sauce. Next, we're going to add shoyu. Now, shoyu is a Hawaiian soy sauce. It is a lot sweeter than your other soy sauces. So that's why it's so specific to this recipe and it gives it a unique taste. You could substitute it with regular soy sauce if you didn't have anything else, but if you can get the shoyu, definitely use that because this just takes it to another level. All right, next we're going to use about 1/4 of a cup of green onion. Now you can add more or less, but that's just the recipe, what it calls for. And I just use my kitchen scissors and I cut it right up into the marinade. Um, I also use the green and go into some of the white part. Now, I usually don't use all the way to the ends because I have this growing on my kitchen counter and I usually will allow it to regrow. So I leave a little bit of root and a little bit of growth so that way it can regrow. But you can use the entire green onion. So if I can regrow something, I usually do. And this is the end of the green onion that I just cut up. And you can see the roots are pretty long. So I'm going to place it into this jar back here. It has a little bit of water in it. And I'm just going to let this regrow itself. And you should look into what kitchen scraps that you can regrow, like lettuce, green onions. There's so many that you can regrow yourself. But back to our recipe, I just added 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, and now I'm adding 2 teaspoons of garlic powder or about 3 cloves. And then next, you're going to add a pinch of salt, maybe about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I wouldn't do too much because the shoyu has a lot of sodium in it as well. And then you'll add about a teaspoon of ginger. Now I am using fresh ginger because it's what I had on hand, but you could use powdered ginger as well. And I'm just going to peel it and grate it right in. And I cannot find my other grater, so I'm just going to use this one for now. But this is going to give it such a freshness and just an amazing taste. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Jennifer Scott. On this channel, we do all things recipe, homemaking, gardening, and more. So be sure that you hit subscribe for me and click the bell so that way you can get notifications anytime I upload new videos. And I'm curious to know, have you been to Hawaii? I have not gone. My husband is half Hawaiian and he actually spent a little bit of his childhood in Hawaii. And I mean, I know the food's amazing. I actually learned how to make a few dishes because of his aunt actually gave me some recipes and taught me how to make them. But the food there is amazing and the island's so beautiful. So I'm hoping that we can plan a trip because Hawaii is kind of expensive. So hopefully we can plan a trip soon because I would love to see the island. All right, but back to our recipe. So we're next going to add 2 eggs and I just crack them and add them right into the bowl. I've seen other recipes say that you whisk it and then add it. His aunt showed me how to make this, and I've never seen a difference in doing it either way. Just make sure that you give it a good mix and that all the eggs are incorporated into this marinade. And like I said, we're just making sure that we're whisking this all up because this is the marinade. So we want everything to be incorporated. That way, all this yummy goodness gets on every bit of chicken. Oh, I can't wait. So, speaking of chicken, we're going to add 1 to 2 pounds of chicken thighs or chicken breast. Now, chicken thighs is usually what it calls for. I did not have chicken thighs on, I had breast, and I usually just cut them up into strips and then place them into the marinade. And then we're just going to mix this around really well to make sure that every piece of chicken is coated. And I just want you guys to actually see what this looks like. So it almost has a brownish grayish tone. But I promise you, when it's cooked, it's going to come out so like beautiful, fried, golden color. Oh, it's so delicious. I cannot wait till this is done. Now, I just sort of toss this around a couple times just to make sure that I get all the sesame seeds on every bit and just make sure that it's really mixed well. And including the green onions, because sometimes the green onions will hide and they like to stick to each other. So, because this is a very sticky marinade. But this looks good. And so we are going to cover with plastic wrap and allow this to marinate in the refrigerator. Minimum about 4 hours or even overnight. You could even make this the day before and just let it sit. And when you're ready, take it out to fry it up. I have even let this sit for an hour in the refrigerator because I didn't have 4 hours and it still came out delicious. But the longer you let it sit, the more those flavors are going to build. And once your chicken is ready, we are going to, I like to give it a quick toss just to kind of mix it up again because it's been sitting in the refrigerator and you'll see the marinade has thickened up some. And the longer you leave it in the refrigerator, it's going to get really thick and just oh so good. And just to let you know some behind the scenes, my husband and daughter are coming into the kitchen to see if I have at least fried one up that they can go ahead and get a quick taste of this. It's just that good. I never have leftovers. And if I do, it has to be intentional. Put this to the side because everybody just munches on these. They're so good. But, anyways, so I just kind of mix this up, like I said, and I shake off some of the excess. But I want that marinade on there. I just don't want it dripping everywhere. And I just place it into the pan, being careful not to overcrowd my pan. But to make sure that you're not overcrowding, I usually like to keep just a little space where the oil can touch every single side of the chicken or anything that I'm frying. This will ensure that the chicken doesn't touch because if you overcrowd the chicken, you'll start to see this water develop in the pan and then it won't fry properly and it takes forever to get this water out because you have to wait for it to evaporate or either drain it out for you to fry back up your chicken. And in this case, it will ruin your batter. So you want to make sure that your marinade batter has that good coating on it that will fry up. But take a look at the little crispies that's kind of forming on the edge. This is exactly what you want. This looks really, really good. But I just want to show you, it's been about 4 minutes now, and this is the color that it's developed, but we really are looking for a crispy golden brown color. So these need to fry up a little longer. Um, but as the more you cook in the oil, it's going to get hotter. So they'll start frying up pretty quickly. But these are looking good, and this is the color you want, that deep golden, beautiful, crispy color. And these look perfect. These are perfect. It has this very light, crispy coating on it. It's really hard to describe. All I can describe it as is Hawaiian fried chicken. Like if I tell my husband I'm making Mochiko chicken, there's a big smile on his face and he does the happy dance. Like it's so good. But I want to show you guys. Look at the crispiness. It's like it forms a batter, but then it's also like just a coating like fried chicken. Oh, it's so good. And it's the perfect weeknight meal because cook time start to finish is about 20 to 30 minutes. And I usually, like I said, have a pot of rice going at the same time. So this is like a perfect meal. And you could throw a veggie on the side just to, get some veggies in as well. But it's just that prep, that marinating it and letting it sit in the refrigerator that takes the longest. If you can, allow that 4 hours. That way it builds on the flavor. But to be honest, I have actually only had 30 minutes and it still came out that beautiful Mochiko chicken flavor. So definitely don't, fret over this recipe. I want you guys to try this and you have to at least try it once because this is delicious. And just looking at this chicken right now, these are done. And just look at this beautiful golden brown color. This is so crispy and delicious. And if you look, you can see the sesame seeds as well as those green onions and plated with this bed of rice. Oh, it'd be delicious with some veggies too. But I am going to go eat. I really hope you guys get a chance to make this recipe. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and also subscribe. I have new videos every week. God bless you, and I will see you guys later. Bye.